So, Dr. Ben Bigelow, we are excited to have you join our OSR Academy. And your background, in addition to your personality and your engagement with our students and your own, is really why we wanted to have you part of this. The goal here is to give the class just a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be talking about, a little about the DISC assessment. But I think your background of having been a home builder and then working with this next generation of builders, both residential and commercial, that our students interact with, really gives you a unique perspective. What else should our students know about you and kind of your perspective on looking at the world of builders and how they lead and how sellers can best position themselves to help those builders be successful?
Sure. I mean, I guess I can just give you a little background. So I had my own small contracting business for a number of years. Went to college, transitioned to working for a production home builder, and did that in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Also did it out in Phoenix during the housing bubble. Literally built a couple of hundred homes in those roles. That little professional piece is something that I draw on regularly. I think one of the best decisions I made coming out of college was the builder that I went to work for. There were 3 or 4 that offered me jobs, and I went to one that I felt like had good culture and really instilled process and culture and some of those things into me. That's something that I think is a huge benefit and has benefited me professionally since, as I've been on the education side, right? So I transitioned while I was in Phoenix, got a master's degree, then went up to Colorado State and got a PhD, and transitioned into academia at that point. And so now I'm teaching, right? I teach in construction management programs. So our students, most of them go to work in the commercial general contracting side, but we always have a percentage that are going into home building. And those connections and those students are a lot of fun for me because they're going into, what I was really passionate and excited about with housing and home building. And in my role here at OU, it's fun because I do get to teach a class on housing. And that helps me, I guess maybe doesn't help me, but it's fun for me because we talk everything related to home construction, from design and construction to policy and economics and those sorts of things. And we always are bringing in speakers and setting up panels to talk and ask questions and help the students learn about this world of home building and construction more broadly.
Got it. And in our class here, we're going to be talking about the DISC assessment that I've taken. I took it when I was at Pulte way back in my younger days, in the early probably 2000s. I took it again during my MBA program. And I love this portion we do with you is because we get to learn about 2 things. Learn about ourselves, and I think leadership and management, both of those have to begin with ourselves. But then also, I know you do this really well. I think a lot of social intelligence comes down to saying, do I understand how this person thinks and how they behave and how they want to interact with other people? And if I can best match myself to make that easier for them, we're going to build rapport easier and we're going to get on the same wavelength faster. So maybe give a little overview of how you're going to approach the DISC assessment, why you had them take that prior to you joining us.
Yeah, I mean, it's really this fundamental idea of first know thyself, right? You have to understand how you like to operate and communicate if you want to be effective in communicating with others. And so that's really the crux of the DISC. I like the DISC because it's simple. It's easy to remember. And so, there's other personality assessments that do a great job, but the DISC keeps it pretty simple, 4 categories, pretty easy to capture and remember. And I also really love the DISC because it acknowledges or recognizes, right, that we can change. The first time I took the DISC, I was like an off the charts D. Like it was with a little bit of supporting eye, right? But that was where I was at that point in my life at about 21 years old. More recently when I take it, my C has grown. And I can see how, as I've intentionally approached things, that we can change, and we can recognize, like, hey, maybe being an off the charts D is not always to my benefit. And so I really love the disc for that reason, right? We understand who we are, so that we can be more efficient and effective in how we communicate with others.
I love that. And I think this is going to pair well with, we had the students all take the Kolbe A index, which, different than kind of how we approach people and more of a personality approach to kind of how people default to getting stuff done. When faced with a challenge, do they do lots of research, or are they like me, which is just details? We can figure out those later. Let's just go 100 miles an hour right at it. And lots of different approaches. But again, the mindset of it is the same, which is, do we understand ourselves, and do we understand other people, and how we might collaborate together better? Or potentially we need to identify some friction that might be there, and how can we be proactive in that? If students go through this, they took their personality report like I did, they have this in front of them, they're getting ready to join us live, is there maybe one question or one idea you would like them to think about, to come prepared with, that might stand above the rest?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, beyond taking the disc assessment and identifying where you fall in the quadrant with the discs, or with the disc assessment, is really take a few minutes to try and understand what each of those four are, and then go one baby step further, and try to think of people that you think would fall into those categories, because that's really the long-term goal of the class, or the bigger macro level goal of the class is, can you, once you know who you are, can you start to pick out how other people operate, so that you can be as effective and efficient as possible in working with them.
Yeah, I love that, because I think if we can just, while being authentic to ourselves, adapt and adjust to those that we are trying to serve. I don't know where this falls in, but I know somewhere it falls into just general likability. And when we meet someone, we're like, ah, I like them. They're easy. And part of that is, oh, they're kind of like me, or at least they understand me. And I think if you can get that, especially when we're talking a lot about prospecting and helping people go on offense to meet new people and have new conversations, this skill and these concepts are coming at a perfect time. And I also think are timeless. So excited to have you with us, Dr. Ben Bigelow. We will see you shortly. Thank you.